wanted to take a look at this weekend's storm, which is going to start before dawn on Saturday and continue through the overnight on Saturday night. It's going to be, unfortunately, mostly wet, it looks like. It will initially be snow above about 1,500 feet, and then we will get some snow on the backside, particularly for upslope areas, although most of us who live below 1,500 feet, particularly those who live below 1,000 feet, probably just see a light coating on the backside. But lots of details to take a look at, and still some time to see what's going to happen, but I think there's just not the cold air in place to make this happen in terms of what needs to happen for a snowstorm to happen. In terms of the current surface analysis, you can see our storm here is developing very much as a big blizzard, basically, over the upper Midwest. And generally, this is not where we'd want to storm anyway for us. But what's going to happen is the front is going to kind of race east, and eventually we are going to have redevelopment along the front. And the question all along has been, will it be coastal development, or will it sort of remain a front? It looks like it's basically going to remain a front, and the storm won't really develop as its own newly formed storm until it's well north of us, which means there's nowhere to tap, and the reason that's going to happen is because there's nowhere to tap any real cold air on the map. You can see here's our big storm. Doesn't currently have a ton of moisture associated with it. This is mostly, there is some snow falling here, but it's more of a ground blizzard. Very gusty winds, a lot of energy, not a lot of moisture. We haven't tapped any Gulf moisture or any Atlantic moisture yet for the storm. It will do so as it kind of on top of us as the storm develops. But here's the real problem: temperatures. There's just not any significantly cold air across most of North America currently. This is much more conducive to like an April or March or April type of system. Not so much here. We're actually not that much above normal here in the northeastern United States, but over Quebec, it's very, very warm for them this time of year. So there's no real temperature gradient. You see temperatures here Thursday morning in the 20s. Basically all the way to Hudson Bay. Usually their normal daytime temperatures across Hudson Bay this time of year would be this for the morning would be well below zero. So we're way above normal into Canada. And so what's going to happen is there's no way as the storm starts to wrap up for it to really to drag cold air in. There's no clash of air. So as the warm-ish air starts to surge forward from the Atlantic at the mid-levels of the atmosphere, it will just override. There's no cold air to kind of hold it at bay, so we stay much more in terms of, we'll stay much more close to a mostly rain event. There will be some snow at the onset at the higher elevations. Let's take a look at the storm highlights to get some specifics of what I think is going to happen. I think everybody below 1,500 feet, which is where most of us live, even in Vermont, we are, I live in Londonderry, which is definitely a mountain town, but I live at about 1,100 feet. But I think everybody above 1,500 feet or so starts as snow. That's a rough guesstimate. That's not an exact. But I would say I wouldn't be surprised. I think even at my house, I'd probably start mostly as rain, maybe some wet snowflakes moved in. I think you get up to ski area levels, which most of the base lodges are at 2,000 feet or so, and if you get up to 2,500 feet, I think 2 to 4 inches of snow for a lot of the ski areas before they change to rain. And that happens probably even at the ski areas, we're changing to rain by mid-morning. Basically no accumulation for anybody below 1,500 feet. Then the rain will change to snow as the storm starts to really develop and pull to our north and east. And for most of us, that'll just be a quick slushy changeover. We may see a quick coating of a ½ inch of snow for most areas, even down into some of the valleys. I think that's definitely a possibility. However, if you're in an upslope area, basically on the western side of the Greens, and I've put a list of towns there that I think where this will happen, easily 2 to 5 inches of snow, as it'll be a pretty good upslope snow. There's still a lot of moisture around, and just a little bit. What happens is, let me go back to the webcam and I can kind of talk about this. What happens is, as the wind comes up, you got your mountains. Whoops, let me see if I can do this here. You got your mountains here, and the wind comes up, and it gets lifted up by the mountains on the west side of the mountains on that northwest flow. That little bit of lift wrings out any moisture, and so we get what we call upslope snow. And I do think this is a pretty good setup for that. So I think a lot of those favored spots will get 2 to 3 inches of snow, and some of the really favored spots get 5, maybe even 6 inches of snow. And the really favored spots tend to be the ski areas. So I think a lot of our ski areas will see 3 to 6 inches of snow by Sunday morning. and then Sunday continues to not be real cold, but we start to dry out a little bit. There'll be still some leftover snow showers on Sunday. So that's how things are looking at the moment. If anything changes, I'll certainly get back to you. I want to say a quick thank you to my patrons who help support what I do here. And if you want to get all my forecasts for the work weeks and the weekend forecasts, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also you'll get notifications whenever weather gets interesting. So our weather pattern is getting a little more interesting, so you should see some more videos from me over the next couple weeks. All right. In the meantime, I will be back tomorrow morning with a look at the weekend forecast.